This podcast is hosted by RPP.
If you are easily spooked, creeped, or offended, this might not be the podcast for you. It's recording.
Oh, sweet. Normally I do that. That's weird.
I know. I felt so special. I did it. Ha ha ha. Oh my God. Welcome.
Welcome to you too.
Welcome to you, madam.
To I Think My Fridge is Haunted.
That's right. I'm Lana Lunacy.
And I'm Gemma Lai.
Woohoo!
And this is a very creepy podcast for very creepy people. Mm-hmm. And we're not in our usual studio.
No, we are in the wild. They let us out.
I know.
Fridge time now. Yeah, exactly. We
got out.
We survived. No, we are at Old Cold's in Frankston for their 5th birthday celebration.
Hurrah! 5 years this shop has been going, and it's run by my very special friend Steffi, who's a bit of a legend, and she'll come on here a little bit later to have a chat too.
It's awesome. It's goth, alternative, metalhead store, in the heart of Frankston.
Yes.
In the heart of Frankston. They've set us up with some cool chairs and it's backdrop.
Fun fact, I actually did a photo shoot on these antique chairs about 20 years ago.
20 years.
And she's still got them, which
They're
is nice
gorgeous.
to see.
They're absolutely gorgeous. Covered in Gemma muck and glitter, probably.
I'm sorry I was late. I was shopping.
Well, I guess that's okay.
I bought this cool t-shirt. It says Glitter Witch,
Hell
and it's
yeah.
actually got glitter on it.
It does. It's covered in glitter and I love it. Yeah, I was shopping too and I was like, oh, we have 10 minutes. Go.
Yeah.
Whoops.
I would have bought more, but I was called back.
Yes. Oh, mama Sam. Yeah, this is a very special episode, out in the wild, coming to you live from Old Cold.
And technically season 6 is finished.
Yeah.
This is a bonus episode.
Yeah.
So we are sticking to our 13 episodes per season.
Yeah, we are.
Hang on, this is 13 Chris is telling us?
Okay, right. Technically this is 13, but whenever we bring it up, you hit us. No, I'm kidding. We get scared. No, there was a fumble early on. A miss admin, and now we think the episodes are different numbers, which is very funny.
Do you know what? I blame EPAT.
Yeah.
And let's talk about EPAT. Can we?
Oh my God, this woman.
So if you haven't watched episode 1 and episode 2, or watched, listened to. We did the mushroom deaths.
The mushroom murders.
Can we call it the mushroom murders yet?
I think we can.
Technically we can't yet.
Ooh. Soon.
So she's been arrested.
She has.
Which surprised no one, but excited everyone.
Yeah. It was nothing for so long, and then all of a sudden, EPAT. Well, not
right.
EPAT.
Yeah.
What
By
was it?
EPAT, we mean Erin Patterson.
Of course.
The mushroom deaths of
the mistress of the
Black Widow of Leongatha.
Yes.
As I have called her.
Exactly right. She got charged. Was it 4 accounts of attempted murder
This
to
is
begin?
Wild. This is wild. So 3 counts of murder, and I believe it was 5 counts of attempted murder, which surprised everyone.
Yeah.
We didn't see that coming. Now, we heard that last year, Simon Patterson, her ex-husband, I'm just looking around, maybe he's here.
Maybe he is here. It's like those damn armchair detectives.
Yeah, right, they're back. You can't stop us. So he said that last year he went to hospital and he was in a coma.
Yes.
Because he had a mystery gut illness.
Yes, mystery gut illness for 21 days. And the hospital didn't know what it was.
And he was so close to death. Mm-hmm. I have so many questions.
So many.
Okay, so EPAT has been charged with 4 counts of attempted murder.
Yes.
Oh, no, 5.
It was 5 because one including
One
Ian.
was Ian, who survived the lunch.
Yes.
4 were just for Simon. 4 times. I
can't wait. I say that every time, but I'm like, I just want to see the results.
Right.
But it's happened. So I think that dehydrator had something in it.
I think the dehydrator, I think the dogs looking for technology.
Yes.
I think they've probably found SIM cards, something like that.
Google search.
And I think, Ian the dehydrator.
Yeah, it's all stacking up. It's not looking good for EPAT.
It's all stacking up, but it's not stacking up for her.
No.
Oh, also, this week, so you know how they said that she was selling her house in Glen Waverley?
Yes. Oh my God,
and
yes.
I found the ad.
Yes.
Well, like 2 days later, I went back to the ad because I wanted to see if it had sold yet.
Yeah.
Gone. So I don't know if they've just made a private sale now or if it was just snapped up that fast.
Someone was like, yoink, I'll take that. I don't know. That's pretty fast though. And considering the market and whatnot, probably just snapped up. But I hope it was a private, someone that was like, I love this. I'm taking it.
Are you a listener? If you bought the house, can you message us on Instagram? I think my fridge is haunted.
Please.
Give us the inside goss.
Yeah, give us an exclusive interview.
What did you offer? What did they take?
Yes. Yes. What's at the house? Is there mushrooms? I want to know. Oh, yeah. Can't wait to see how this unfolds for EPAT.
Right.
Well, the police said it'll take up to 20 weeks, though, from now. Like, I think it was the technology and stuff like that.
To what? What's happening in 20 weeks?
I think it was, like, getting all the evidence from the phones. Like, this whole process of her being charged, like, to get to the court is going to take...
So building a case.
Yeah, absolutely. So making sure it's airtight, because you don't want to mess this one up. Not this one.
You know what?
Yeah.
We could actually just talk about
Again.
Erin Patterson.
It's been done before.
For a season.
We could. Should we get Steffi over here to talk about Old Colt's 5th birthday?
Steffi!
Steffi!
Yay! Oh my God, she's got cake!
Oh my God! Welcome. Hi.
Hey,
Steffi.
how you going?
Introduce yourself, Steffi. Who are you?
I'm Steffi.
Yeah.
So I'm one of the guys that work here at Old Colt. We've been around 5 years now. I can't believe it. None of us can.
You say one of the people that work here, but I'm pretty sure you're like the queen boss, supreme goddess of Old Colt, actually.
Maybe. We all like to kind of put ourselves a little bit equal. We've all got like, you know, we're all invested and we all love this. It's like a bit of a family to us.
Yeah.
So I suppose, maybe I'm like the queen bee, but more like the alien one with the egg and, you know.
Yeah. I know of it. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
perfect. Well, what is Old Colt? How did this start? What do you sell?
So Old Colt, Old Colt stands for alternative culture. So we like to be a little haven for people who are just a little bit like off kilter, a little bit off the side. You know, we all have that friend who likes that other stuff.
Yeah, the dog stuff.
Yeah, so we like to cater for your old rockers, your metalheads, your punkers and your goths. We try to be pretty all-inclusive like that, and we are a very safe space and open to all the amazing creatures out there in this world.
Yeah, that's right. As soon as you walk in, you can tell that this is a safe space. Like,
Yeah.
this is love in here. We love metal. We love weird things. Like, it's like a second home to, like, I imagine a lot of people.
It really is, and we see so many different people from the young and the old who pop by, and they just really appreciate everything that we have here.
Yeah.
And that's just amazing. Like, I know that I've been here before we were Old Colt. There was another shop here, which I sometimes worked at, and that was also an alternative shop, and that was predominantly for metalheads. But the transition into Old Colt from when that shop left and what became Old Colt with completely different owners and everything like that has just been wonderful, because it's really opened up just the world to people, and people do have somewhere to go. Like, you know, whether it be the younger kids or the older people who just remember and reminisce about, you know, that time they used to sit on Flinders Street steps or whatever it is that they were doing. And we do try just to bring back that little bit, because everything's online now, and there isn't a place where you can go and meet your fellow.
Yeah, your community.
Yeah, your community. So we try to be that little bit of community. We do sometimes have in-store events like this. Like we've done like little in-store cinemas and stuff with beanbags, and like we've had like really groovy, like we had Hobbsy in here once, and Skits, who's a drummer.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so it's been really great, and we're really hoping just to keep with that kind of thing get in more in stores and just keep making it just the place that it is.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Like, so much is online, and there's not many alternative culture stores anywhere, and especially in Australia. Like, you know, it's hard to find now, and coming here was like so much nostalgia for me. Like, I remember little shops like this, little witchy shops, or like metal shops and music shops and things like that, and it's like all in one place for you. In Frankston, right near the beach. It's awesome.
I know. It's kind of a little bit like Lost Boys. I really just want a beachside like the Lost Boys, you know, the Ferris wheel.
Yes, we didn't get the shirtless, greased up man to play saxophone in time. I'm so sorry.
I couldn't find him. He was running and he slipped right past me.
Slipped down in my hands. Oh my God. No, it's awesome. Well, how can you shop at Old Colt?
So obviously you can make your way down to Funky Town, come all the way down to the beach, check out the awesome, there's lots of amazing graffiti around here.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, really good.
So cool.
There's a festival every year and they, you know, paint the walls and paint them really well. Some not
awesome.
so well, most are really well. You can also shop online. So we've got the website. A lot of people like to click and collect because everything is done in-house here. All of our website, all of our social media, everything like that. We don't always get everything that's in store on the website. We are trying. We're very trying if you've met us. And yes, so that's probably one of the best ways. A lot of people do like the click and collect service because that way they can secure what they want because it comes in and out of here really quick. Like we got in some t-shirts yesterday. There's already quite a lot of those already run out the door. We've got another order coming, but you know.
Yeah. You want to wait. Wait in between. Yeah, that's a huge thing is how quickly the stock moves here. So if you want something, you better come and get it.
That's right.
And the best way to do it is come pick it up in store and see the whole team because they're all adorable and hilarious.
I hope so. We all like each other, but we are biased.
That's right. Oh my God, you guys are awesome. Well, happy 5th birthday.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Oh my God, thank you so much, Steffi.
Awesome.
Yes. Oh my God, go check out Old Colt at Old Colt, and that's with a V, Cvlt.
How the kids spell it.
Yeah, where the cool kids spell it. Yeah, Facebook, Instagram, oh my God, all of it. Go check them out. Go look at their website. It's awesome. Thank you so much, Steffi.
Yay! Thanks, guys.
Anyway,
is it time?
You know what it's time for.
You know what time it is?
Facts from the freezer.
Oh my God, do you want to go first?
I've got a wild fact.
I'm so excited.
You're never going to believe this. And I don't even know how I found this. No, I do know how I found it because I Googled myself. Because I'm that person.
What came up?
Haunted Refrigerator Night is an annual event that takes place in various cities around the world.
No.
Stop
it right now.
This event is usually held on the last Friday of October,
obviously,
and it involves people going to haunted refrigerators to get free food.
What?
I know. So far, Haunted Refrigerator Night has been held in over 20 cities around the world. The event typically starts at dusk and runs till dawn. During this time, people can visit haunted houses and haunted attractions. Some of these attractions also have fridges that are turned into haunted houses. It's so random.
This is awesome.
One of the most popular Haunted Refrigerator Nights is held in Philadelphia. There are over 20 participating haunted houses and attractions, including a nightmare fridge that will be open all night long. And the idea behind Haunted Refrigerator Night is to bring awareness to Hunger Strike Week, which is an annual campaign that takes place during the same week. Hunger Strike Week aims to raise awareness about the global issue of hunger.
That's amazing.
Right?
So next year...
We're going to Philadelphia.
We're going America going to Philadelphia. We're having our own haunted house, and it's going to be filled with fridges.
Who do we know in Philadelphia?
Who do we know in
My
Philadelphia?
oldest friend's parents actually live in Philadelphia, so...
Done. Here we come.
We're coming over.
We're coming to stay. Oh my God, that is awesome. And it's around the anniversary of the podcast anyway.
Right, because our birthday is Halloween.
It sure is. Like, obvious.
Ovs.
Ovs. That was awesome. Oh my God. So I also found a wild fact, and I love it so much.
I'm so here for it.
So, in 1998, a preservation group began restoration at Benjamin Franklin's residence in London. During their rehabilitation work, they discovered a secret windowless room under his garden containing the remains of 15 people.
I feel like I've heard this.
Yeah, I thought it might have been like a well-known thing because it's, you know, a long time ago.
Now, Benjamin Franklin, was he not an American?
Yeah, he was. He was the founding father, one of the founding fathers.
Right.
Where
so,
was
but
it?
he had a London home.
Yes. So, for nearly 2 decades leading to the signing of the Declaration of Independence, Benjamin Franklin lived in London in a house at 36 Craven Street.
Right. But yeah, because
We've got Freddie behind
Freddie's behind us.
us. In 1776, Franklin left his English home to come back to America. So more than 200 years later, 15 bodies were found in the basement, buried in a secret windowless room beneath the garden.
I'm trying to do the maths to equate this to H.H. Holmes. Unfortunately, the maths is not working.
The math
by
ain't
about
mathin'.
a century.
Yeah, the math ain't math.
So I'm just going to have to go ahead and presume that...
Well, he was part of the Hellfire Club, and they were into some weird shit.
They were, which we will cover at some point.
I think I've got to. I'm obsessed. I love it. I think that's why I like this fact so much. I was like, yes, it begins.
Did they do any investigation into who these people were?
Well, yeah, from a 1 meter wide, 1 meter deep pit, over 1,200 pieces of bone were retrieved. 6 were children. Forensic investigation showed that the bones dated to when Franklin lived there at the time.
And you say it was in a cellar?
In a secret room under the garden.
See, that to me just, look, that gives me Josef Fritzl just vibes. That gives me cult vibes.
Yeah,
that gives me
yeah.
sacrificial,
Yeah.
children. That gives me secret society vibes.
Absolutely, it
Yeah.
does. I'll have to read more about it, but I
Yeah.
thought that was insane.
Right.
Genuinely insane. These founding fathers, dirty boys.
But a lot of people would have lived in that house since.
Surely.
So-
unless it was
Can
preserved.
it definitely be equated to the time that he lived there?
Well,
That's
then,
what I'd like to know.
well then, yeah. If the investigation, it says it was around that time, but did they maybe want it around that time so they could be like, Benjamin Franklin did this?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I don't know.
Interesting story.
Interesting. Yeah, I can't wait to talk about the Hellfire Club. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
And not like the D&D group, obviously. Love Stranger Things, but
Yeah.
not the real one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who wants to go first?
We got 2 stories each this time.
So what we're doing today is, instead of doing one big story or 2 half stories, we're actually doing 4 little stories.
Just little ones. Little
Yeah.
tasters.
Yeah. Nuggets.
Nuggets.
Spooky nuggets.
Spooky nugs.
Okay, that's
yeah.
our new thing.
Yeah, done. Spooky nuggets.
Spooky
Oh my God.
nugs.
Little bat-shaped nuggets.
Yeah.
Well, I have mine here.
I'm going to have to make a jingle for it.
Yeah.
Spooky nuggets.
Spooky nuggets.
Spooky nuggets. I'll figure it out.
See,
I'll jam on it.
People are about to find out how good at editing you are. And there's people at the back of the store right now going, who the fuck?
Who are these weird sheets?
Okay, so should we give little tasters? What do we want to end on? Do we want to end on something fun?
I don't have anything fun. Do you?
I kind of have something fun for my second one. Do you
Okay.
want to start?
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Let's do it.
All right, I'm going to start.
Let's do it.
I am talking about, and keeping in mind this is a 10-minute story, so
10
this could be
minutes.
a whole, 10 it could be 10. You got to factor in tangents,
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
for which we are famous.
Famous for conversation stories.
So, I am going to do a very quick story on banshees.
Awesome.
Right.
My sisters. My brethren.
So the word banshee comes from the Irish words, and sorry for to Ireland. It looks like bean sea,
Beansy.
but so Beansi,
Okay.
which means woman of the fairy mound. Sound like you?
Yeah, I think so. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yes.
You live in a mound,
Yeah, of course. I did kind of live under a hill for a little bit. so-
right? And delivery guys are like, "Where is the door?"
Where is it? Oh my God, all the time. All the time.
So her legend goes back to ancient Celtic beliefs. It was believed that if you saw one of these creatures or heard her wailing, it was an omen of death.
Oh.
And a warning that tragedy is about to come to your family.
Well, if you hear like a screeching scream, I think it's...
It doesn't mean cake.
No, I wish it did. It's probably not a great omen. No.
This wail is also known as the keening.
Oh, that's a cool
Like
word.
the Banshee's keening.
Yeah.
Right? It's our new band.
Yeah. Yes. Perfect.
And it can be a sound so piercing that it can shatter glass.
Awesome. So that'd be a cool party
That's
trick.
very metal.
Yeah. Yes. Powerful.
The Banshee doesn't herself cause the death. So let's just get that clear. She doesn't kill the people.
She's not the murderer.
She is there to announce the omen that death is near.
Ah, so she's just letting them know. So she's actually doing them
A service.
a little service.
Yeah, get your go bag.
Yeah.
Shit's about to go down.
Say your goodbyes, get your go bag, let's go.
Yeah. She is often seen in the form of a short, elderly woman with red eyes, wearing a cloak, but sometimes she's described as a pale woman in a white dress with long red hair. It is you.
Yeah, it sounds like me on a day off. Like around the house, like,
My true form.
yeah.
My personal favourite is that she appears as a headless woman carrying a bowl of blood.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so metal.
Because she's got no head. She keeps bumping into stuff and spilling it.
Oh, sorry.
Just fill that up for you.
Sorry.
The Scottish Banshee, the Bean Nye, which I'm pretty sure is... So, the Bean C... The Bean C is the Irish one. Mm-hmm. The Bean Nye is the Scottish one.
Okay, very close.
She's quite scary. And she's a bit more nasty than the Irish one. She has a veil over her face, which is sometimes covered in blood.
Oh, cool.
Right.
Love.
And she wears a tattered old burial dress.
Ah, very cool.
Sometimes she rides a horse. And even though her face is hard to see, she's often believed to be an old crone-like figure. Sometimes her horse is followed by a black hearse.
That's awesome.
Production value.
Yeah, right? The whole drama.
Yeah, the whole drama. If a group of banshees is seen and they scream all at once, not only do you have a metal choir, which can be seen at Old Cult
Yeah, obviously. Right now.
of a Sunday afternoon, it's a thing. If they all scream at once, it is said that a person of some importance is on their deathbed.
Ooh.
Potentially, and don't judge me for this, potentially a holy person.
Ah, I see. I was going to say like Betty White when she died.
She's holy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a
yeah.
saint.
The banshees did scream.
I know I did.
Hey Jen, want to come over for a scream fest? Betty White's dead.
It's going to get some night screams out. Yes, good.
Sometimes after she disappears, the sound of flapping wings is heard.
Awesome.
Right?
That's like so metal.
Yeah.
Like a Valkyrie of death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In modern times, a man named Willie Good claims to have encountered the Banshee. Now,
I bet he did.
There is a recording of this man. He's Irish. I had to turn it off after 25 seconds because I could not understand this man's accent. I mean, he must have been from the furthest reaches of Ireland.
Deepest country.
I thought he was literally speaking another language. I was
think
like,
they kind of do, don't
I'm
they?
just going to find the article and read it because this is getting me nowhere.
Yeah.
So, Willie Good claims to have encountered the Banshee. He thought he heard cats howling outside his house. However, he said the noise would move, go out to the front of the house, then around to the back again. And it was going on for about a quarter of an hour. Eventually it stopped and Willie went to bed. The next morning he found out that two of his neighbours, a father and a daughter, had both died during the night.
Oh, damn.
And this is another way that a banshee is seen, or that you know that the banshee is close, because it sounds like animals on your doorstep, like
yes.
scratching or screeching or howling, clawing,
yeah.
fighting.
Awesome.
That's another indicator of the banshee. But the banshees are not strictly British.
Okay.
Or maybe they are, but they go overseas.
But they travel.
Yeah.
They just travel overseas.
they-
They need a holiday too.
They got a Qantas flight.
Premium
Okay.
economy. With everyone else.
Leg room.
Leg room.
There are legends of banshee-like creatures in the US. In West Virginia, which, as we know, Mothman comes from,
Obviously.
there is a place called Martown. And here we meet the Martown Banshee.
Ooh.
Martown was settled and farmed by a Scottish family, and they were settlers. So, and their name was Mar, so Martown.
Martown, of course.
It's southeast of the city of Parkersburg, and Martown was developed into a farming community. Mr. Thomas Marr arrived from Scotland in 1836 and later met and married a local girl named Mary. And her family were already established in the town, and they ran a brewery.
Cool.
However, life on the Marr farm was a tough life, consisting of hard work and very few luxuries. Thomas and Mary continued to dream of a better life for themselves and their family. Unfortunately, Mary and Thomas had 8 children, but tragically, they lost all but 2 of them.
Oh, damn.
They continued to work their land that would be later known as Martown, and they hoped for better things. The local immigrant population, with many coming from Scotland, had a strong belief system that included superstitions from the old country. And you can imagine like elements of folklore are coming through that. So one funny fact that I came up with is the Scottish believe that autumn brides are a bad omen.
Oh. Okay.
In the 19th century, I'm pretty sure there was still a sense of concern about the actions of one's daily life, potentially disturbing ghosts and sprites and fairies and those types of things.
Very superstitious.
Yeah, salt over the shoulder, all that kind of stuff. And I'm gnomes. Gnomes is another one
Yes.
that I thought, maybe the Scottish are into gnomes.
Yeah.
And also, if you haven't listened to our episode on gnomes, it's season 4, episode 10.
Go listen to it, please.
Because gnomes are freaking creepy.
Yeah.
It's true that the Marr farmhouse, painted white and quite cosy, faced a beautiful green valley, but it also backed onto a menacing forest.
Ooh, perfect real estate.
Thick with brambles, fraught with shadow, and surely haunted.
Surely.
This forest is old. Okay. To the west and down the hill was the Ohio River, while to the north was Fort Borman Hill, a camping ground for Union troops and a place used for public hangings.
Oh, good.
Also housed there was a quarantine centre for those afflicted with diseases like smallpox and typhoid fever.
Oh, it's a hotbed of weird stuff.
It's a hotbed of weird.
Hotbed of weird.
But 19th century.
Ah,
That's
it's all
kind of
next.
how it was.
Yeah, it's a family outing.
Yeah. So not only did they witness violent battles from their homestead on the hill, but towards the end of the Civil War, both Confederate and Union soldiers used to come to their homestead and loot their stuff. And
What?
steal their food.
Why? It's so
'Cause
rude.
they're dickheads.
Yeah, well,
When the war ended, Thomas began working as a night watchman at the toll bridge over Little Kanawha River, which separated the edge of Parkersburg from their home in Martown. Mm-hmm. While he was working, Mary would look after the farm and the children. On the way to work early in the morning, on several occasions, and always in the same spot, Thomas told Mary that as he was walking to work, he had seen a robed figure riding a white horse.
Ooh.
He didn't know if it was a man or a woman because their face was covered by a hood, but he felt like it was a woman. And he always saw the figure riding on the same spot in an old shabby robe. And if he approached it, the horse got agitated and reared up. The figure and the horse then walked into the misty morning and disappeared.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Never to be seen.
Except for the next time.
Except for the next time he's on the road, yes.
On a chilly February evening in 1876, the now middle-aged Mary, middle-aged, she's 25.
Yeah.
Waited for Thomas to
Spinster.
return. Yeah. Waited for him to return home from his day of work. She had taken a nap, but she had suddenly awakened, and she frantically looked around for her husband. Finally, she heard footsteps outside the house, but when she went to the window, she saw only a white horse with an indistinguishable rider in a tattered old robe and a veil covering her face. Mary went outside into the freezing night and spoke to the rider, but there was no response. Rude. Mary asked her what she wanted, and the horse stepped closer. Underneath the veil, Mary noticed that her eyes were glowing red. She finally spoke. "I am here to tell you, Mary Marr, that Thomas Marr has died. Say your prayers. I bid you well."
Oh. I mean, I suppose it's nice of her to just let her know, at the very least.
Right. The horse and rider then turned and galloped away from the farmhouse. Soon after, one of Thomas's workmates came to deliver the tragic news that Mary already knew.
Oh. Oh.
We don't know how Thomas Marr died that night. Some say he was shot during a fight. Others say he heard the cry of the banshee that shocked him so completely that he fell into the river and drowned.
That's pretty cool.
There are
Pretty
other
metal.
stories that claim that the corpse of Thomas Marr was found on a nearby railroad track close to the river. Whichever is true, the keening of the banshee often takes place near water.
Okay.
I don't know why that is.
Oh.
Very odd. Over the years to come, the banshee continued to visit the descendants of the Marr family because, fun fact, part of the banshee legend is that each Miss Banshee. Each banshee is thought to be ascribed a family and only appears for those in that family and their descendants.
Okay.
Yeah. So you want to come over for Christmas? This is Lana. This is Chris. This is Tom. This is our banshee.
She's in the corner like...
Her name is Sheila. Would you
She's
like
lovely.
some potatoes, Sheila?
Screams at you. Sorry. I know you don't like it.
How long have you had Sheila?
It's
About
like
400 years.
Like, she hangs about.
When old Mary Marr died at the age of 90
Whoa.
and was laid out in the living room for friends and neighbours to visit and pay their respects, people were said to hear a screaming wildcat outside and chains rattling upstairs in the attic.
That's awesome.
Some years later, one of the later Marr boys, like the descendants, was tragically injured, resulting in him losing an arm. That night, the Marr family heard a growling animal on the porch of the house where Mary Marr had met the banshee. When the family went outside to find the creature making the sounds, all they found was blood on the ground.
Oh, awesome.
And that's my very short story on the banshee.
Yay! Oh my god.
Thank you.
Banshees are awesome.
I also forgot to say my sources, which, for fairness, I just made the whole thing up. I used Meanwhile in Ireland, Yay Cork, Wikipedia, WV Ghosts, and Haunted Parkersburg article featuring the writings of Susan A. Shepherd.
Awesome. That was so good. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Banshees. Very, very cool. I want to have a house banshee. Can we have a house banshee? Yeah, great.
Sounds noisy, but I guess, only if someone's going to die, though.
Only if someone's going to die.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, shut up. Please. Okay. Anyway.
Put your finger over her mouth. Sleep now.
It's not now. Okay, my first story today is about the ice pick sergeant. It's Walter Freeman II.
This sounds horrific.
This man performed over 2,000 lobotomies. We're talking lobotomies. Woo! Yeah.
This guy was kind of recent, wasn't he?
Yeah, he died in 1976.
Yes.
So the reason I actually did this story, because my lovely partner worked at Arundel Lunatic Asylum as a ghost tour guide, and we were like pretty sure he either came over or just his method was brought over.
So they did it here too?
Yep, absolutely.
Australia?
They absolutely did.
Oh, wow.
Plenty of lobotomies here. Yep. So, yeah, I was like, who's the guy that made that? And, oh boy, is he a guy.
It's a whole thing.
It is a thing. So, just a short history lesson, if you don't know what a lobotomy is by chance. Good, for one.
I highly doubt Fridgies don't know what a lobotomy
Yeah,
is.
you would hope so. So, a lobotomy or a leucotomy is a discredited form of neurosurgical treatment for psychiatric disorders and neurological disorders, aka like epilepsy, depression, that involves severing the connections in the brain's prefrontal cortex. It involves using a sharp surgical tool to sever the neural connections between the frontal lobe, which controls higher cognitive functions such as memory, emotions, and problem-solving skills. The controversial procedure was first developed to combat the growing concern over the overfilled insane asylums or sanatoriums in most of American cities.
But if you're severing the ties between your brain and your problem-solving skills, doesn't that make the problem worse?
I mean, it solves one problem and just creates a lot more.
Right?
To me, that's what it sounds like.
I'm not seeing the logic here.
No, there's not like a huge amount of like, I don't know, there's logic, but there's not like logic, you know, like...
Flashing light is back. We're not even in our studio and the light is still flashing. It's Christine.
It's Christine. She's pissed still.
Still.
Christine's
Christine's the ghost.
that hangs out with us. Okay, so doctors essentially had no ways to treat people considered to have brain disturbances or had gone crazy, if you will. With minimal drugs and effective therapies, there were so little ways to help these people, and most wouldn't be able to re-enter society because of the immense traumatic experiences in these institutions.
What does that tell you?
What does it tell you?
Some changes need to be made.
And they were, like, eventually, like, 20 years ago. Whee!
Yeah.
Okay. So in 1935, the Portuguese neurologist Egas Moniz invented what was initially called a leucotomy.
What year was that, sorry?
1935.
Okay.
So not that long ago.
I think lobotomies and I think like 1850.
Yeah.
You know, I think way back.
Yeah, you'd think so, because it's an archaic practice.
I didn't think it was so modern.
Yeah, so soon. Actually, I should, when the last one was performed, I should have looked up the date for that, but we'll get there. So, Egas Moniz invented what would be called a leucotomy initially. Right. He was inspired by the earlier works of Swiss psychiatrist Gottlieb Burckhardt. So sorry.
Love that name.
Who performed some of the earliest psychosurgeries during the 1880s.
What do? I'm a psychosurgeon.
Yeah.
A psychosurgeon.
I perform psychosurgeries. That's another band name, and I'm surprised if it's not.
Oh my god.
Moniz thought that...
That's a speed metal band.
Oh my god, 100%. Yes. Yes, perfect. So Moniz thought that mental illnesses originated from abnormal neural connections in the frontal lobe. So the leucotomy procedure involved a neurosurgeon and a medical team drilling holes into either side of the top of the person's skull and injecting pure alcohol into the frontal lobe to destroy the nerves and tissue.
Like what Jeffrey Dahmer did, but with acid.
Yeah, just burn it out. It'll be fine. Don't even worry about it.
Seems a little amateur hour.
Yeah, it was kind of like, let's just throw something at the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah.
What, they're not angry anymore? Great, send them out. They'll be fine.
No.
Fun fact, so in 1949, Moniz received the Nobel Peace Prize in Medicine for inventing this procedure. How's that?
There's a future in psychosurgery.
Yeah. So while Egas Moniz birthed the procedure, Walter Freeman would become the procedure's most notorious proponent. Mm-hmm. So Walter Jackson Freeman II was born November 14th, 1895. He was an American physician from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Philadelphia again.
Yeah.
Random.
It's where all the weirdos are from. Sorry if you're from
Does he have a haunted fridge?
He started it. Freeman spent years researching the cause of mental illness based on an organic model, producing little to no results. It wasn't until he was guided by Moniz and his new theory that mental disorder originated from the wiring within the brain, and that severing the wiring, the disorder would be removed, or so the theory went.
I'm just seeing a guy like laughing maniacally, like, you know, with a drill.
Actually,
use this.
I can tell you, I can show you. This is Walter Jackson Freeman.
Hey, Wally.
Hey, look at that guy. Doesn't he look dead behind the eyes?
Yeah. Yep. Unfriend.
Yeah, unfriend. Not please. I've taken this out. I don't know where to put it. There we go. Okay. All right. So, Walter. In 1935, Moniz and Freeman had a chance encounter at a neurological conference in London. Freeman was inspired by Moniz, calling his work brilliantly conceived. Moniz then became Freeman's mentor and personal idol.
Okay.
Sounds like a good duo.
Doesn't take much.
No.
Doesn't take much.
So, Walter Freeman didn't have a license to perform surgery, as he was only a neurologist trained to treat diseases of the nervous system. He was forced to pair up with a neurosurgeon friend, James Watt, and together they would develop the prefrontal leucotomy, which instead of using alcohol, they would use a leucotome, which is a syringe-like metal instrument. Actually, I have so many photos.
I think I know what it looks like. It's like a T shape, right? Oh no,
It's
I
like
don't know what that is.
a syringe, yeah. It's kind of like a T shape. So they put that in there, put that in the drilled sides of your head.
Please tell me these people were anaesthetized.
Oh, I'll tell you how they got
Or
through
were they just like tied down?
Let me tell you, there definitely wasn't anesthesia. I'll say
and
that.
Your body horror, I swear to God.
What? I just love Saw. So they used that tome to manually sever the nerves between the frontal lobe and other regions of the brain. So on September 14th, 1936, the first prefrontal lobotomy was performed. By 1942, they had performed over 200 surgeries, claiming 63% of the patients had improved, 24 remained unchanged, and 14% became worse.
And by worse,
Worse is
dead.
Yeah,
Possibly
basically. Wanting to develop a quicker, almost mass production way of performing lobotomies, Walter Freeman opened his kitchen drawer one day to see the ice pick and thought, I could do neurosurgery with this.
Right.
Yeah. Freeman wanted a new procedure, able to be performed in a variety of settings without a surgeon, and this would allow more patients to be treated.
Without a surgeon.
Yeah, don't need a surgeon.
You're not coming near my brain.
No.
Unless you're a surgeon.
No,
and
thank you.
even then, I've seen Dr. Death.
Yeah, exactly. And it also meant that Freeman could perform the surgery on his own whenever he wanted and wherever he wanted. Of course. Inspired by other surgeons' studies and experiments at the time, Walter Freeman developed the transorbital lobotomy, which transorbital means past the eye. Freeman...
Ew.
Ew. Right? Freeman created the orbitoclast, a metal instrument resembling an ice pick.
I believe it's pronounced orbitalgast.
Thank you. See? It's the T for me at the end.
You've got to say it like, you know, in a mega German.
Orbitoclast.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
or
better.
Swedish or something.
That's what I was doing wrong. My God, I had to concentrate so hard to say that. Right. And used a mallet, a steel double-headed mallet.
Worse.
Yeah, oh yeah. To drive the orbitoclast through the thin layer of bone between the eye and nose. Now, if you don't like body horror,
me.
Yeah. I'm going to describe how this works.
Between the eye and the nose.
Mm-hmm.
So, like...
So, placing the orbiter
I'm so sorry, Chris. I've seen that face so many times.
Poor Chris over here's
Stop.
like smiling like, yeah, okay. So, placing the orbiter clasp in the corner of the eye, sliding along in line with the bridge of the nose until the tip was past the eyeball and touched the back of the eye socket, and with a couple of crisp whacks, break past the bone.
Crisp whack.
Crisp
Ding,
whack.
ding.
Yeah, that's what it sounded
And
like.
you're done.
Yeah, and you're good. The mallet would then tap the tool 2 inches further into the brain tissue.
2 inches?
2 inches. So you've seen an orbiter clasp, right? It's got the little lines around it. That signifies an inch. So that's what they're using that.
Okay.
So once it's in position, the pick when they're
What could go wrong?
We've got to be really precise about this dodgy procedure. It would be then manoeuvred in a prescribed pattern and then tapped in a further inch to manoeuvre in a different pattern. Then, if he deemed necessary, thrusted the pick up and down to create a deep cut in the inner hemispherical tissue. You take it out, you wipe it down, you rinse it off, and you repeat in the other eye.
Stop.
All without the use of anesthesia. Freeman used electroconvulsive therapy to induce seizure and unconsciousness.
Great.
So not only are you getting a ice pick to the eye, you have to electrocute yourself until you pass out.
Wow.
Woo! And it all means like you could wake up at any time.
But who are these people getting this done? That's what I want to know.
In asylums. People that are like, I don't know, believed in not God for a second. They're like, get in it.
Were any of them willing?
I reckon so, because there wasn't like a lot of treatment happening at the time and they so desperately wanted help that they were like, we'll just do it.
Right. So
And-
they could be like, look, we have a new groundbreaking
new
procedure.
Yeah, it's going to fix
We're
you.
very, very confident that this is going to work. And they'll be like, doctor, do anything.
Yeah, exactly.
I just want to get better.
This guy was like super flashy and super showmanship as well.
Right.
Like, he was really selling it hard.
Yeah.
And he wanted to help people. So that's why.
And it sounded like, new technology. Like,
Absolutely.
Science.
There was so many different like procedures going on as well. At one point, one of the studies that Freeman was inspired by was an Italian neurosurgeon, and he was doing this basically the same thing as this, but going up the nose. So they were all trying to find like the least invasive way to do this, and apparently going through the eye was the easiest way. It's better
Right.
than getting your head drilled in, I suppose.
Yeah.
If I had to pick.
Marginally.
Yeah. I don't want to like have 2 big holes in my head, for the rest of my life. But I guess it doesn't matter anyway because you don't realize anything because you've been lobotomized.
True.
It should be said as well, Freeman didn't do any control groups to this new research and the new version of the procedures.
Oh, he just went right in.
Yeah, he just jumped feet first into performing this the procedure straight away, basically. Freeman could now perform 25 lobotomies a day.
You can't even release a lipstick in 2023 without doing, tests on control groups.
Exactly right. Imagine this. Yeah. Hi, I just want to poke someone in the eye real quick and sever their brain. Is that cool? Cool?
We're just going to go 3 inches in.
Yeah, it'll be fine. They won't even notice because they'll be passed out and electrocuted. So, even going as far to be able to do 2 lobotomies at once with both hands in both eyes at the same time.
Got the orbital clasps, so
Yeah.
they're just like sticky tape 2 together. They can go, do 2 at once.
Yep. Such a show off. So in 1947, Freeman's partner, Dr. James Watts, ended the partnership because he was disgusted by Freeman's modification of the lobotomy from a surgical operation to a simple office procedure.
I mean, how many people has he got coming through? It's not like he's bottling beer in a factory. Like,
Right.
why does he need to do 2 at once? I mean, are people lining up down the street?
Actually,
Like that
yeah.
freaking croissant shop in the city on Collins Street on a Sunday?
It's the loon.
What's up with that?
It's the loon of asylums. Everyone wants to get in. They want to get their Instagram picture and get out. So this development of the lobotomy wasn't just pushing the boundaries of science, but clearly had its risks. Serious brain damage being the most prominent, leaving the patient oblivious to the world around them, unable to care for themselves, and having to be institutionalized for the rest of their life. The most common outcome was patients would lose their sparkle or lose their personality.
Which is the real tragedy, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? Like, they just made them human.
Dead inside.
Yeah, nothing behind the eyes. The obvious risk of death was also confirmed in many cases, which Freeman would either nick the artery in an artery in the brain, or in one particular case, Freeman had picked was giving a lobotomy to a young boy and stopped to take a picture. The orbitoclast was at the wrong angle. It slid down to the midbrain, where basic processes like breathing and waking up and sleep cycles were controlled, and ended up killing the boy on the table.
Don't take selfies while you're doing surgery.
No. Don't have the press in there, Freeman. So
Is that what happened? He had the press in there?
Yeah, absolutely. He was described as a show-off and would let reporters literally be around the table, taking photos, interviewing him while he was performing the surgeries, loving the attention and notoriety he gained. Even taking his lobotomy show on the road to make the procedure more accessible.
Why did I not expect that there was going to be a tour?
Yeah, Freeman only charged $25 per lobotomy. That's
Okay.
bargain.
Now, that's in 40s
Money,
dollars.
yes, dollars. That's the photo of him with all the...
He looks like Gandhi.
Doesn't he? Look at this guy. No gloves, no nothing.
No gloves.
Just hanging out.
Cow.
They're literally, like, on the table with this poor person.
So I wonder what $25 would be in today's money.
Yeah, true. Probably like $175, I bet. More.
Oh, it'd be more than that. It'd be like $1,000.
Yeah, probably. 25 bucks.
Yeah, about
Quick
$1,000.
math. Someone, no. Loving summer road trips, Freeman would hop around the cities and regional towns.
Do you think he called it lobotomy?
Gemma is gone. She's left. Tommy. Yeah, I think he did. Absolutely. He hopped from asylum to asylum, where each location would have maybe 24 patients lined up for him to do the lobotomies. Even including patients that didn't necessarily need the procedure, Freeman claimed it as like a preventative measure.
Okay.
If he saw someone who may have or will be institutionalized in the future, Walter would want to nip it in the bud, but it seemed more likely Freeman just reveled in the fame and the practice it brought. An egotistical, dangerous, and really irresponsible outlook.
What is this? A woman reading books?
Yeah.
Lobotomize her.
Yeah, get her out. No personality for you. No.
I see bad things in your future.
Yeah. Let's get it.
The
Let's nip it in
asylum.
yeah, nip it in the bud. Worse so, Freeman was destroying perfectly healthy brain matter on people who didn't need it, but probably needed just help in the short term. Freeman even lowered the age level and started performing the procedure on teenagers and children whose brains hadn't even developed fully yet.
So there's your problem as well.
Yeah. The only problem in this situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Children, they don't need to be lobotomized. They're kids. Most famously, Freeman's name gained popularity despite the widespread criticism of his methods following a lobotomy on President John F. Kennedy's sister, Rosemary Kennedy, which left her in a severe mental and physical disabled state. Yeah.
Oh,
he took away her sparkle, all right. That poor woman, she had to be looked after for the rest of her life.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah. Freeman was described as flashy and disturbing, and was also heard faulting medical developments, especially in hygiene.
Can that be our new tagline? Flashy
And disturbing.
That sounds like us.
I mean, let me.
I'm a glitter witch.
I'm gonna put that. That's like straight across the poster. Freeman admitted that he didn't believe in that germs crap, often skipping washing his hands, wore no gloves or mask.
He was QAnon.
Right. He liked to chew gum during the surgeries, even. Yeah. Nah, germs aren't real. Nah. I know. This guy. Many patients who received lobotomies were left in diminished mental states, losing use of their limbs, having to be retaught how to eat or go to the bathroom, left in a childlike state, or simply unable to care for themselves. approximately 15% of patients died during the procedure.
And was the response like, oh, well, that one didn't work? Or did he receive any ramifications for
Funny you
these
mention
failures?
that. He never, ever, ever faced any legal consequences.
What the hell?
Yeah, but he did. He would eventually lose his ability to perform the surgeries at different hospitals.
They
Freeman,
were like, we don't want you.
no.
We don't believe in...
We've seen what you do.
We've seen what you do.
And we're not interested.
Right.
Thank you, though.
Good.
Thank you so much.
That's good.
Yeah. Freeman even continued to perform the surgeries once new drug treatments had come out to treat patients, like in the 60s. Sam Keane, oh my God, I didn't do my sources either. That's embarrassing. Sam Keane is an author of...
Keane.
Yeah.
The Keening.
It's all connected. Oh, we knew. He wrote a book about the ice pick surgeon. He says, to his discredit, even after the drugs came out, Freeman, tried to discredit them. He tried to snare them, essentially, because he wanted the lobotomy, again, to be the first treatment for anyone with mental illness. Mm-hmm. Over 4 decades, Freeman had personally performed possibly as many as 4,000 lobotomies on patients as young as 4 years old.
Oh, that's wrong.
Yeah, across 23 states. Of the 2,500, he used the ice pick procedure, despite the fact he had no formal surgical training.
When, I might add, maybe a hug would have just sufficed.
Yeah.
Maybe the kid just needed a hug.
Maybe he just needed a hug, not to be, like, whacked or
In the eye.
in the eyeball. As many as 100 of his patients died from cerebral hemorrhage. And he was finally banned from performing. With his final surgery in 1967, the patient died.
He went forever.
Forever. Walter Freeman died in May 31st of 1972 from complications in his operation for cancer.
Right.
The
I thought you were
sweet
going to say
irony.
he tried to do
He
his own
tried to
lobotomy.
lobotomize himself.
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong? But I thought it was very funny that he died from surgery complications.
What goes around comes around.
Absolutely. So that is Walter Jackson Freeman II. What a weirdo.
What a twat.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was interesting. There you go.
Thank you so much.
You are so
I am
welcome.
enlightened.
Are you disgusted?
Mhm.
You should be.
Mm.
I know I
Rightfully.
am. Okay.
Shall we keep on going?
Yeah, let's do it. What's your second story?
My second story is very short.
I think we've got some people listening. Hi, people.
Hi,
Thank you for coming.
So for my second story, my sources were Somerset Paranormal, Bath Life, which, fun fact, I've been in. Double page spread, might I add, when I was a burlesque dancer.
Oh.
When you live in Bath, it's not hard to get into Bath Life.
I've always said that,
My other sources were SPI UK Somerset Paranormal Investigators, Curious World, the YouTube channel, and Old North Somerset by Alan L. Holt.
Awesome.
And I'm going to tell you about the ghost of Chew Valley Lake.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yay! Now, this takes place in Somerset.
Somerset.
In the southwest of England, which is a place close to my heart. I lived there for 8 years. I have many good friends. Sez, who is a Friggie.
Yay!
She comes from that area as well. Hi,
Awesome.
Sez.
Hi, Sez.
And if you go back a few seasons, she was actually on one of our lockdown episodes where we talked about the ancient Ram Inn, which is allegedly the most haunted building in England, and we spent the night there. And it was the most ridiculous night that we left there laughing and kind of, we didn't even ask for our money back. The paranormal investigator got drunk and got in a fight with a guy. The guy was like 16. And he ended up like pushing him into a hedge. It was just the stupidest night.
Is that not part of the deal? Is that not part of it?
It's kind of a bonus. It was stupid. It was dumb. It's a great place.
Yeah.
Highly recommend. But
Sweet.
even the ghosts were like, this is dumb.
You're dumb.
So, in Somerset, in the southwest of England, is an area called Chew Valley. And in that town is a lake. It's actually a man-made reservoir, and it's said to be haunted. On June the 5th, 1999, a man named Chris, his daughter Sam, and his partner Wendy were driving south alongside the lake on their way home. In 2001, Chris told an interviewer that night he had seen a triangular light ahead of his car. And as he was driving and he moved closer to it, he and Wendy thought that the light was turning into the figure of a woman that was walking across the road. Oh. She was not looking for oncoming traffic. She seemed to be oblivious to their car. Chris flashed the headlights at her, but she did not respond. So pretty much your run-of-the-mill ghost, you know, girl from the well, crossing the road, not looking where she's going.
Trying to get where she's going.
Yeah, exactly.
Why did the haunted girl cross the road? Anyway.
She doesn't even know. So Chris flashed the headlights at her, but she did not respond. When they were only about 4 feet away from her, she just kept walking across the road, and the family could see that she was wearing a 3/4 length white nightgown. Of course.
Of course. They don't wear anything else.
And a cape with a hood. She did have a cape with a hood. She had long, wavy hair that looked like it was soaking wet.
Awesome.
Chris didn't think that she was human necessarily. He definitely got the impression that she was of a paranormal nature.
What gave it away?
Right? She could have just been a Flinders Street goth.
Yeah. Wet all the time. How? Don't know.
They stopped at the next pub and called the police.
Classic.
And had a drink.
Obviously, had a pint.
While I'm here. Chris said that he felt a bit foolish telling the police about what he'd seen, but the police came down to check out the area anyway, but they found no one wandering the road near the lake. About a week later, Chris saw a notice in the paper asking for members of the community to come forward if they had seen anything strange along that same stretch of road where Chris's family had seen the girl. It turns out that at least 9 other people had seen the same thing near the lake as they were driving.
Awesome. Okay.
We love a mass sighting.
We love.
A meeting was set up by the local historical society to talk about what they had seen. Now, a group of 5 people had been driving home that night from a party.
Of course.
When they also saw the girl, they described her as looking solid but misty.
Ooh.
Another lady watched as the figure slowly walked up a lane branching off the highway. She thought the girl was inappropriately dressed for an evening walk.
Yes, actually.
But after watching the girl for a moment, she became convinced that she was seeing a ghost. The people that saw her also reported her as not necessarily walking, but floating.
Cool. Floating along.
Yes. Who was the girl? Well, in the 1987 book Old North Somerset by Alan L. Holt, he suggests that the girl is the ghost of one Catherine Brown.
Ooh, okay.
Now, Catherine was a teenage girl who lived in Chew Valley with her parents in the early 20th century. We don't have an exact year, unfortunately, just the early 20th century.
Ghost times. Prime ghost time.
Yeah, prime ghost time. One night, she didn't come home, and her parents became extremely worried. Her father, along with some neighbours, went out looking for her while her mother stayed at home in case she returned. It's just like the Ma story, really.
Yes.
So later that night, Catherine's mother was delighted to see her daughter finally walking towards the house. However, when she went outside to greet her and ask where she'd been, Catherine made no sign of hearing her.
Ooh.
Furthermore, she was soaking wet.
Soaking wet. Floating. And her mum was like, where the have you been?
Not now, ghosting. She made her way into the house and up the stairs, floating.
Of course.
Where she shut herself into the bathroom. Catherine's mother thought she'd been through something, like she's obviously upset.
It's teenagers.
So, right.
Ugh.
So she decided, let's
just leave her
sit
be.
in the bathroom.
She turns on Deftones. She's like, all right, cool.
When her neighbours and husband returned, she told them Catherine's home safe and sound. However, when they went up the stairs to check on her, they could find no trace of Catherine.
Ooh.
The truth, however, was that she had hit her head and drowned in the moat of the nearby Stratford Mill, which stood at the site where the lake later lay.
Okay.
Because it's a man-made lake.
Oh my God, okay.
Some say her body was never found as she drowned in the lake. So this is the thing, you need to check your sources. Although this, because the lake didn't exist when she lived there.
It wasn't there yet.
Although this doesn't make sense because the lake wasn't there. But it sounds good to end with, the lake was forever her tomb.
Yes, a watery grave.
It wasn't her watery grave.
Oh,
Because the lake wasn't there. Others say her body was found the day after her disappearance at the mill, which sounds like a more viable story. After her death, people began seeing the ghost of a young girl around the lake, wearing old-fashioned clothing and looking as if she was soaked in water. But just quickly, before I finish, there is something else that I have not told you about the lake. And it's not so much spooky, but it's more like our history side.
I'm here.
But it could give us a clue as to why the place is haunted.
Okay.
At the bottom of the lake is what remains of what was once a tiny village.
What?
Covering an area of 1,200 acres. The lake was created in the early 1950s and was officially opened by Queen Elizabeth II in 1956.
Oh.
Underneath the lake lies the village and farms of Morton. Old roads and hedgerows can be seen during summer when the level of the water drops down. The village of Morton is so old that it was named in the Domesday Book.
Whoa.
Which goes back to the 11th century.
Whoa.
Back to William the Conqueror, who
You know, that guy.
fascinates me. As well as the village, there is evidence of an old nunnery under the lake and what was potentially an 18th century gunpowder mill. Some buildings were removed in the early 1950s and the village completely flooded to be hidden from view forever. But before the village was flooded, two guys excavated the area and they were sent by the Ministry of Works. So in England, a lot of times, like, if you're getting a swimming pool put in or something like that, if you find historical artifacts, you have to call the university.
Oh,
so
cool.
a lot of times, like, tradies will find stuff and they'll be like, didn't see that. Because they don't want to, like, stop working for 2 months.
Yeah.
Like,
Really wanted to get this one finished, actually.
so, like, if there's, like, commercial works and things like that, like, you know, if the town wants to build a shopping centre or whatever, they have to send, like, archaeologists to come to check the area to see that there aren't, like, ancient artefacts there first.
God, that'd be so annoying, wouldn't it?
It's actually, when I lived in Bath and they were creating the shopping precinct, they actually dug it up first and they created these little walkways with perspex and you could actually see what was going on because in Bath, it's a Roman city.
Yes.
So you could actually see all the Roman stuff that they were digging up. It's
That's
quite cool, actually.
That's awesome. I
Yeah.
love that they, like, let people be involved.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
really cool.
That's so
Sorry,
cool.
tangent time.
No. Perfect. It's our podcast.
Anyway, the excavations found evidence of local inhabitants dating as far back as the Bronze Age, the Copper Age, and the Iron Age, and even further back than that.
Whoa, that's amazing.
Right? They found knives made of stone and flint blades, as well as ancient buildings and graves.
Wow.
These artifacts were sent to the Bristol City Museum. So it's possible that the lake could be haunted by all sorts of people.
Lots of people. Very old people.
Yeah. And that's my story of Chew Valley Lake.
That was awesome. Oh my God, thank you. That's such a cool place. Oh my God, I love that you've been there as well. Like, you know the place and you've stepped
There's
it there.
actually lakes, like, the southwest of England's amazing. Like, I have driven past a lake before, and I don't know if it's Chew Valley Lake or a different one, where my husband Louis was like, oh, there's an ancient village under that lake. They flooded it. And I'm like, what? Why would they do that?
Yeah.
No, because they needed a reservoir.
They need somewhere to put the water.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's like the English Atlantis.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Oh my God, thank
Do you
you.
reckon they'd flood Frankston?
Oh. Before I start my next story, I just wanted to very quickly say my sources because I think it'd be rude if I don't. For The Ice Pick Surgeon was the book The Ice Pick Surgeon by Sam Keane, Wikipedia, Psych Central, Insider Edition, Weird History, the BBC, and Literary Hub as well.
Well done.
Thank you. Okay. So, my next story, and our last story, actually, Oh, thank you.
Should we do this again sometime?
Yeah.
Yay!
Woo! I would love to.
At night.
Okay. At night, when it's ooky spooky.
With beer.
With the beers. Yes, please. So, my next story is about the Fox sisters.
Ooh.
Yes.
I love this.
So, one of the greatest religious movements of the 19th century had beginnings in the bedroom of two young sisters living in the farmhouse in Hydesville, New York. Mm-hmm. So, the infamous sisters, which I learnt about through my sources. My sources are...
Oh, I forgot the Fox Sisters book. I was going to give you that too.
Oh my
Sorry.
God. That's okay. I have plenty to read. So, my sources for the Fox Sisters is BuzzFeed Unsolved, Women of Every Complexion and Complexity.com.
That sounds deep.
Yeah, it does. Paranormal Encyclopedia, US Ghost Adventures, Wikipedia, and SmithsonianMagazine.com.
Cool.
So, the Fox sisters were three sisters from New York who played an important role in the creation of spiritualism in the mid-1800s. Leah was
Our favourite time.
Our favourite. So fun. Like, how fun. I want to go to a seance on a Friday night. It'd be great.
Or a mummy unwrapping.
Oh, yeah, and feasting. English. I'm looking at you. Ew. Anyway, Leah was the eldest of the sisters, born April 8th, 1813. Margareta, also known as Maggie, was born October 7th, 1833. And the youngest was Catherine, also known as Kate, born March 27th, 1837. So there's a little bit of time in between.
Yeah.
So in 1848, the two youngest sisters, Kate and Maggie, lived with their parents, John and Margaret, who were Methodists. The Fox family lived in a home in Hydesville, New York, where the first reports of unusual experiences started for the sisters. By this time, their older sister Leah had already married and left home. The house was reputed to be haunted even before the family moved in.
So were there 4 sisters in total?
There was like 7 children, I believe.
There's a whole stack.
Yeah, there was a heap of them, but just focusing on the last 3.
Yeah.
So the house was already reputed to be haunted even before the family moved in, but it wasn't until March did the family begin to believe and be frightened by the unexplained sounds of knocking or rapping. Mm-hmm. Sounds of furniture moving and the physical phenomena that were happening to them began around the girls' bedtime, gaining the household to be known for odd occurrences most often noticed when Maggie and Kate were present.
Right. Which, as we know...
Kids.
Adolescent girls.
Yeah.
You know, and teenage girls often,
Exactly.
have spirits
and they're
around them.
very sensitive to the spirit world. Mm-hmm. Late on the 31st of March, Kate wanted to challenge the spirit responsible for the noises. Maggie and Kate would snap their fingers.
Not a good idea.
No, they were just like,
Leave
you
it
know what?
alone.
I'm going to play with ghosts.
No.
Because that's what kids do.
They didn't have Netflix.
No, exactly. Poor girls. Maggie and Kate would snap their fingers and dare the spirits to repeat the snaps back to them, of which they did. The next, they rapped knocks and challenged the spirits again. They complied. The girls then asked the spirits to rap out their ages. The spirits did so correctly. Maggie and Kate went on to develop a rap code, to signify yes or no to answer questions and eventually to represent the letters in the alphabet. So they could have like full conversations with these spirits.
Yeah.
Which is not creepy at all. It's 2 little girls just like,
Don't... we've all done it.
Yeah, we all have.
We've
all played
don't
with the
try to
Ouija
say
board.
that you haven't.
If you haven't played it with the Ouija board, there are some for sale up the back of the store. Thank you.
There are.
They are awesome.
I have one on my office wall.
Yes. When you can't get through to someone.
When Optus is down.
Thanks, Optus. Have to go back to the old ways. The girls determined the spirits to be a local legend of the house, a Jewish peddler named Charles B. Rosmer, who had been murdered 5 years prior and buried in the cellar, and his spirit refused to leave the scene of his murder.
Buried by Benjamin Franklin.
Yeah, yes. In the hidden room. The sisters searched the basement to no avail, but the girls did tell their parents, and their parents called in the neighbours to witness in the strange events, causing excitement among the locals, and all the neighbours around called in to witness the manifestations. No Netflix.
We are in the neighbours as well.
Yes.
We're in my mind.
Yeah, we're here. We're in the space.
We're dressed in Victorian clothes,
Yes.
and we're
Bonnets.
there.
We're like, where's the ghost? That's what we're doing.
We're asking the hard questions.
Yeah, exactly. After visiting and witnessing the communication through the sisters themselves, people went over to the whole countryside trying to get the name of people who had lived in the house prior. They found a man by the name of Bell, and they said that the innocent man had committed the murder in the house, and that the noises were coming from the spirit who murdered the murdered person, Charles. Poor Bell was shunned and looked upon by the community as a murderer.
Like the Bell Witch.
Yeah, it's all connected.
All connected.
Once the excitement became too much for the 14-year-old Maggie and the 11-year-old Kate, their parents sent them to live with their sister Leah in Rochester, New York.
Enough of you little goths.
Yeah, get out of here. We're going to get drunk and search the basement.
If you're not going to find a husband and, bust out some babies and start wearing pastel,
yeah.
you can get out.
You can get out and go to your sister's house. They thought that it would save them from the supernatural occurrences, but the rapping followed the girls, and their supernatural gifts were confirmed at a gathering of a family friends, Amy and Isaac Post, home to see if the girls were in fact sensitive, whether they could communicate with the dead.
Right.
The Posts invited the girls to a gathering at their home, anxious to see if they could communicate with the spirits in another locale. Isaac, quote, "I suppose I went with as much unbelief as Thomas felt when he was introduced to Jesus after he had ascended." Isaac,
Okay.
Yeah, he was like, I just didn't believe it, much like this time. Isaac Post wrote, he was swayed by very distinct thumps under the floor and several apparent answers. Eventually, the Posts invited Kate and Margaret to live in their home.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit weird.
That's random.
A little bit weird. Immediately convinced of the genuineness of the phenomena, they helped to spread the word among the radical Quakers friends, which was like a slang term for people who were the early core spiritualists, because they had radical political views such as abolition, which was ending slavery,
Right.
temperance movement, equal rights for women, communities. They were super close tied.
Okay.
So went and told all their friends that these girls can do this. They're like, they can communicate with the dead. Let's go. So in an attempt to communicate with their deceased daughter, Mr. Post put Leah in a trance where they discovered she too had mediumship abilities.
Mm-hmm.
So on November 14th, 1849, the Fox sisters demonstrated their spiritualist rapping at the Corinthian Hall in Rochester in front of 400 patrons.
They're going big.
They're going hard.
They're stadium rock.
Yeah, the Posts actually hired this hall for them. They're like, we've got to tell everyone.
Right.
We've got to tell everyone. We've got to prove that this is possible. This was the first demonstration of spiritualism held before a paying public and inaugurated a long history of public events which spiritualist mediums and leaders were in the United States and worldwide. Afterwards, Amy Post accompanied the sisters to a private chamber where they disrobed and were examined by a committee of skeptics who found no evidence of a hoax.
See, when you're psychic, rooms aren't rooms, they're chambres.
Chambres. Took them to chambre. I love the extremes they're going to. They're like, go, take off all your clothes and prove to us
This
you can't do
reminds
this.
me, Chris, of that book that you recommended to me, The Haunting of Alma Fielding. And she was like a spiritualist, medium in the UK. And they did these kind of tests on her. They got her naked. They were like,
Show us.
how are you doing this thing?
Yeah. Prove to us. Yes, I've seen this method a few times,
Right.
in different situations. So Kate and Maggie became extremely famous mediums, and they held seances for hundreds of people at a time. Many of these early seances were entirely frivolous, where participants sought insight into the state of the railway stocks or the issue of a love affair. Ask the ghosts.
So they're 50-50 questions.
Yeah.
It's going to be good, it's going to be bad.
Pretty much.
Choose one.
I don't know why they're asking ghosts.
And then if you're wrong, you say, time isn't linear.
It's a circle. Don't worry about it. Their public seances in New York attracted notable people, including catching the attention of seer Andrew Jackson Davis, who would later become known as the John Baptiste of modern spiritualism.
Okay.
So, granddaddy of
What was John
spiritualism.
Baptiste the John Baptiste of?
You know,
Chris?
I looked it up and I was like, what, is this just like a turn of phrase? Is this like, is that what it meant? Anyway, doesn't
He's
matter.
big in Japan.
Yeah. That's right. Davis claims that on the very day the Fox sisters first channeled spirits in their bedroom, he believed his prediction of the rise of modern spiritualism as confirmed. Quote, "About daylight this morning," he wrote in his diary, "a warm breath passed over my face and I heard the voice, tender and strong, saying, 'Brother, the good work has begun. Behold, a living demonstration is born.'" Andrew's support of the Fox sisters added momentum to their success and the beginnings of modern spiritualism as a whole. So this guy was like, absolutely, it's true. Absolutely. And there was heaps of people that believed in these sisters.
Is Arthur Conan Doyle going to be in this story?
Oh, he should. Yes, he can be.
Then Arthur Conan Doyle, and then he had a cup of tea and a cupcake, and then he left.
He had some opium and he left.
Wrote some books.
Yes, he did. By the 1850s, the sisters had developed a permanent demonstration show at the Parlor in the Barnum Hotel in New York.
They've got a residency now.
Residency, New
Residency
York.
at the Tote.
In New York. They charged a whole $1 per session. Right? I know, affordable. Sessions ran...
Was it though?
I don't know.
Because back then, this is 175 years ago or something like that.
Yeah.
$1 would have been a lot for a lot of people that only earned like $5 a week.
Yeah, like...
They're making bank. They're
are.
stacking their paper.
Well, they had 3 different sessions a day, 10 a.m., 5 p.m. and 8 p.m.
Holy cow.
Yeah, and they took private sessions in between.
Of course they did.
Taking money.
Right.
Making money. And they were like a parlor, so there was like sitting room and like heaps of people coming to watch this.
Was it velvet?
It
has to be
It
velvet.
has to be velvet. There has to be an absinthe like tap in the background.
I have to apologise, Chris. These are not 10-minute stories. We promised you 10-minute stories. Tangent.
Not a thumbs down. No.
Sorry,
I
Caesar.
tried. Caesar. Their shows turned into a tour. Another
Right.
tour.
Yeah.
Traveling to major cities in America. Maggie and Kate would go on tour and Leah would stay behind and continue private seances. They're making doubly
The
money.
Fox sisters in like metal font, metal font logo.
Oh
Fox
my god.
Sisters
And the
tour.
shirt, like, that's sick. All right, I'm going to make that. So the rise in popularity for the sisters increased interest in spiritualism becoming a trend, having it become a significant controversy as well. Significant figures such as Victoria Kathleen Woodhull, who became a leader of the women's suffragette movement, and would also become the very first woman to run for the president of the United States in 1872.
Go, Catherine.
How cool is that? That was a little side fact I found out.
Cool.
1872. That's how long we've been trying.
Wow. Yes.
We've really been trying.
Actually, kind of sad.
So some critics concluded that the girls were making the wrappings themselves. In 1851, the Reverend C. Chauncey Burr, hell of a name, wrote in the New York Tribune that by cracking toe joints, the wrapping sounds were so loud they could be heard in large halls.
I reckon I could do that.
Yeah, I was doing it like when I was writing. I was like, oh yeah, but I don't know if it could be heard in a whole hall unless everyone's very quiet.
That's a
Very
really good
quiet. A bit like echo and thing. I don't know.
I don't know.
In the same year, investigators from the University at Buffalo concluded that the wraps were made by cracking joints of their body and that the wraps would not occur if they had cushions under their feet.
Were their feet, like, conspicuously close to, like a horn-shaped, like, megaphone, like this?
You're like, yes, tell me, this spirit is
Spirits
David. Got arthritis at, like, 24. Not good. The thing was, though, is that the skeptics were right. Later in her life, the world saw the confession of spiritualist Margaret Fox in the newspaper New York World on October 21st, 1888.
So a fair while.
Afterwards.
Okay.
They've been making bank for a while now. Maggie came forward and stated, "I do this because I consider it my duty, a sacred thing, a holy mission to expose it." Spiritualism.
Okay.
"I want to see the day where it is entirely done away with. After I expose it, I hope spiritualism will be given a death blow. I was the first in the field and I have the right to expose it." She was going in. She was making a Twitter post. She was like, "You're all done."
Yeah.
I
don't know, but because spiritualism is still alive and well today.
Absolutely it is.
Excuse the pun. But yeah, because
Very good, very good.
But, like, I think as humans, we want to believe.
Exactly. I want to believe.
We're Mulder.
Yes. And I'm Scully. Oh my God.
Ah.
I do want to believe. Maggie explains in the confession, "My sister Katie and I were very young children when this horrible deception began. I was only 8, just a year and a half older than she. We were very mischievous children and sought merely to terrify our dear mother, who was a very good woman and very easily frightened."
Oh.
Kids. "We went straight to bed at night and we used to tie an apple to a string and move the string up and down, causing the apple to bump on the floor. We would drop the apple, making strange noises every time it would rebound. Mother listened to this for a time. She would not understand it and did not suspect us of anything being capable of a trick because we were so young."
But how did they fool thousands of people?
Thousands and thousands of people. Maggie goes on to explain her life, the life of her sisters, the shows, touring, how they got away with it, the strain and damage it did to the sisters, drowning her remorse in wine, and how she now lives a poor life after the death of her husband, Dr. Kane.
She lost all her money?
She lost all her money.
On wine?
She died poor. Yeah, they just, like, were so distraught with themselves that they were like, nah. And, like, they don't talk to each other. Like, it was really sad.
Wow.
Really, really sad. Explaining as well, quote, I do not want it understood that the Catholic Church has advised me to make these public exposures and confession. It is my own idea, my own mission. I would have done it long ago if I could have the necessary money and courage to do it. I could not find anyone to help me. I was too timid to ask."
Wow.
So while innocent beginnings found these sisters fame, misfortune, and heartbreak, it can and should be said that the excitement of the locals did band a group together to examine the cellar at the Fox home in Hydesville, New York, back in 1848. They uncovered strands of hair and what appeared to be bone fragments, just as the local legend of Charles B. Rosmer goes. So maybe these sisters were never going to escape the spirits and their contribution to the spiritualist movement. And that's the beautiful Fox sisters there.
Wow.
Yeah, that's them.
It's a cool story.
It is a very cool story.
But I don't believe that just because they were frauds, that
it's fake. It's all fake.
It's all fake.
Yeah, exactly. The fact that they actually did find a spirit and, like, the body of someone in the house is kind of like, I think maybe they were a little bit in touch, maybe, and they just took it for a ride.
Yeah, I totally think they took it for a ride.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, my toe cracks.
Yeah,
What
look
can
at
we do with this?
Wow, sounds good. Well, as soon as the confession came out, everyone was like, okay, and then just kept doing what they were doing anyway.
Right.
They were like, oh, all right, well, we're going to do it anyway.
We had fun.
Yeah. Didn't we have fun?
We had a great...
Didn't we have a good
It's like,
time?
I met my husband at one of your shows.
Yeah, exactly.
We have many descendants.
Yes. We don't... I take your reality and I substitute it for my own. I don't believe you.
Yeah.
No. So that's the Fox sisters.
Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Let us remember never to do mini stories ever again. 'Cause
Yes,
they're not
yes.
mini.
Don't
They're
put
actually long.
restrictions on me. I can't
Look at
do
this,
it.
an hour and a half.
Hey, I
We
mean...
talk and talk and talk. Hey, listen, apparently Steffi wants to make an announcement.
Oh my God, Steffi.
Do you want to come over?
Zach,
Do you
bring
want,
Zach
do you want to come over here?
Hi, Zach.
How we going?
Good, how are you?
Not too
What
bad.
do you think of the stories? Did you like them?
I think I'm gonna struggle sleeping tonight.
Yeah, good,
be
good.
honest.
Yeah, that's
No,
great.
it's cool. It was cool. Good environment.
That's awesome. What do you do here, Zach?
Whatever they tell me to.
The perfect answer. Well, tell us, what have you got for us? You want to lean in here and tell us what you got?
Well, as I'm sure you know, it's our 5th birthday as a shop, as a team, you know. So we are throwing a little shindig, a little bit of a gig down at Singing Bird Studios on December 8th
Oh,
to celebrate. So we've got-
awesome. Oh my God.
I think it'll be a good time. So we've got False Dichotomy, which are young guys from down this way. Rare Olives, Coffin Carousel, Scafus, and Replacement Busters playing down at Singbird Studios. I think pre-sale tickets.
psychosurgeons.
Oh, they're all ready.
They're on remand apparently. So
Oh my God, December 8th.
yeah, and tickets will be $13 pre-sale or $20 on the door.
Oh my God, what a steal.
I know, right? I think I should go to that.
I think, should we go? Let's all go.
Should have got this thing on.
Oh my God, that's so awesome. Woo, well done. Oh, well, we'll be there. We'll celebrate. That's some awesome, lineup. That's so good.
I think it's going to be a good celebration of a bit of a microcosm of everything we do here and just a celebration of everything we're passionate about.
That's awesome. Oh my God, thank you so much,
Thank you very
Zach. Round of applause for Zach. Good.
Shall we wrap it up?
I was going to say, should we,
Wrap it up.
We're going to keep talking otherwise.
We can talk forever.
Someone's been trying to shop the whole time, oh my God.
I've got to work tomorrow.
Stop that.
I know, right? Someone's it's like the lights are turning off. They're putting the chairs up. They're like
Closing time. Oh my God, this is awesome.
yeah.
Thank
Let's
you.
do it again. Steffi, can we
Yeah.
come back?
Can we come back?
Yay! She didn't answer, but yay.
We'll sort it out later. Thank you so much, all of you, for coming and listening,
Thanks
hanging
for
out with
listening
us.
to our crap.
Yeah, listening to us talk and talk and talk. And thank you for listening to the episode as well. Where can where can people find us if they want to listen to more?
At
God forbid.
I Think My Fridge is Haunted on Instagram and Facebook and,
And
TikTok.
that's
Oh,
right.
and I think YouTube as well,
Oh yeah, and YouTube as well.
because you've been working on that.
Yeah, I've been trying my best.
I think this might be on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm going to try and put this video up on YouTube as well. So
Cool.
if you weren't able to be with us, come watch and have a look and then be at the next one, obviously.
Yes, right.
Oh my gosh, Gemma, I had so much fun.
Until next time.
Until next time, be creepy.
But don't be a creep.
Woo! Yay! I wish...